Okay, I'm about to show you how to checkmate with a knight and a bishop. So, the idea is with a light squared bishop, you're going to end up checkmating him in the light squared corner. So first thing you got to do is get him into one of the dark squared corners. The first thing I do is I set up my pieces in the middle. Now depending on which corner he starts naturally going to, my king is going to be on the dark square that's close to that corner. Then I'll put my other pieces on the two light squares. So it'll either be like that if he's over here, or it'd be like that if he's over there. So let's do that. I want to get my king on this square. If he lets me, I will. Okay, but now he's going this way, so maybe I want to get on this square. Let's start moving these pieces in. Okay, he's gone this way, so I'm going to go for this corner, this square. Now I'm going to get my pieces here. Okay, so I'm set up. That's phase one. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip-flop these two pieces onto the other side that they're on. And try to get my king to this square. So let's try this one. Flip, flop. So he doesn't let me, but I go forward. Now I'm in like Flynn. Okay, so now he's in the corner. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to walk him all the way down to the light squared corner. One of the two. You can choose. And in order to force him out of this dark squared corner, you will need the knight. Obviously the bishop can't touch it. The king can't do anything. All you can do is stalemate him. But this is a winning position if you don't screw it up. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to go to h1, throw him to h1. So the first thing I can do here is put this bishop here to control this square. Okay, king controlling these squares. So now he's locked in along this way. But he can chill between a1 and b1 forever. That's why I need to get the knight to deliver a check on a1 to force him to start making some headway. So that check's going to come from this square. It could also come from this square, but I'm going to put it on this square, I think. I'm actually not sure if this leads to mate or not, but so that's the next thing we got to do is give a check in the corner with the knight. So to get here, here's a pathway. You got to make sure not to stalemate him in these scenarios. There are some scenarios where you can accidentally take away all of his squares, or he can be like here and you take away all of his squares, and he gets stalemated, but no worries. Now, in this case, I don't actually have to deliver a check. I can just play knight c2 and take away the square. Okay, now if it had been check, he would have gone to b1. Then I would have had to do a stutter step with this. I would have had to do a stutter step with my bishop to get him to go to c1, and then I could play bishop a2 and take away the next square with the bishop. But since he's already on c2, it wasn't check, he just moved from b1 to c1. I'm going to go ahead and take away this square now. Now comes the W maneuver. The knight is going to basically go like this, and there's a W there. I'm going to throw some king moves in the middle. This is the pathway of the knight, okay? And the idea is we're going to keep shuffling him this way. So, step one, throw in a king move. Step two. Okay, now we got a situation here. It's going to seem like he's almost going to get away towards this side of the board. But because I have my knight on a light square, I'm controlling dark squares. And if I move my bishop over here, I can control these light squares. King's controlling this square, and this square. Look at that; he's totally boxed in. Okay, so let's go there. This is the freaky part. You got to think about you're totally blocking him off using a combination of light and dark squares. That means your knight's going to be on the same color square as your bishop. Okay, now where is he now? Where can he go now? We're still controlling all these squares, so he's still totally locked in. In fact, these are the only two squares that he can go to. So we want that. We want him to go to either one of those squares. So this is kind of a tricky move, a waiting move. I'm just going to play bishop right here and just keep everything exactly the same where it is, control all the exact same squares, and get him to push. Okay, now comes one more squeeze, because keep in mind we're controlling all these squares. We're going to squeeze them and we're going to come into the totem pole position. Okay, so he can go to one of these 3 squares. They're all gravy. But here's where we're going to start lining up on this totem pole. All 4 pieces are going to be right here. So we're going to step it in, because now when we step it in, we can take away these squares. Still controlling those 2 with the knight, still controlling these with the king, and even controlling that one with the knight. So actually when we step it in, he's going to only have 2 squares to work with. So lock it in, and now here comes the king to complete the totem pole. So pop the king into the slot, everybody's in line. Okay, now stutter step, and then take away the square. Now continue the W maneuver. Go ahead and do that one right away this time. Now come over here, protect the knight. One more. Okay, let's do a little stutter step here. But I also want to control that square. Okay, boom. Now check it out. This is wrong. We're still winning. King controls these squares. Bishop controls this square. The black king only has 2 squares to move to. As long as we don't stalemate him, we win. So what we need to do is deliver a check. We need to be able to control this square. So only the knight can do that. So where are we going to do it from? We're going to do it from h3. So let's go here. Okay, and now he's here. Okay, he's on g1. That means I can go check and mate. If he were on h1, I would have to stutter, because otherwise, if he's on h1 and I go knight h3, that's stalemate, because he's in the corner and I'm controlling all the squares around him. So you just got to make sure you time this shit right, and in this case, it's ready. We're ready to deliver the check. We're controlling f1, controlling all these squares. Only one move. Bada bing, bada boom.